Imagine this. You're surrounded by thousands of online friends. Your phone is buzzing with notifications, and yet deep inside you feel completely alone. You're not the only one. In fact, a shocking 73% of Gen Z reports feeling lonely. On a regular basis, a percentage higher than any other generation before them. This isn't just a phase. It's an epidemic. Welcome to Gen Z's darkest secret, the loneliness epidemic, where we uncover the hidden forces driving this crisis and, more importantly, how to break free from it. Because loneliness isn't just about being alone, it's about feeling unseen, unheard, and disconnected from the world. Even when you're in the middle of it, let's dive into the 9 core secret that expose the truth behind Gen Z's loneliness and the roadmap to escaping it. Secret 1: the digital illusion of connection. Social media promised to bring us closer. Instead, it's made us feel more isolated than ever. Why? Because we mistake digital interactions for deep connections. Gen Z grew up in a world where friendships are measured in likes, comments, and streaks. But here's the harsh truth. Just because someone reacts to your story doesn't mean they truly know you. And just because you have 1,000 followers doesn't mean you have a single real friend. A study by the American Psychological Association found that the more time you spend on social media, the lonelier you feel. And yet, when we feel lonely, what do? We scroll even more, trapped in a cycle that never actually fulfills us. Meet Jake. He had over 10,000 Instagram followers. Yet, when he went through a personal crisis, not a single person reached out to check on him. Why? Because most of his connections were just surface level. He was playing a game of social media performance without realizing he was losing the battle for real. Meaningful relationships. The problem isn't social media itself, it's how we use it. If we mistake shallow interactions for deep connections, we'll always feel alone. Secret 2: the social media paradox. Have you ever wondered why? Despite being more connected than ever, Gen Z is also the loneliest generation in history. Welcome to the social media paradox, the illusion that we are socially engaged when, in reality, we are emotionally disconnected. Social media tricks our brains into thinking we are part of a community. We comment on posts, like photos, and reply to memes. But these interactions lack depth, vulnerability, and real emotional intimacy, the very things that make us feel truly connected to others. Instant gratification, zero depth. A quick LOL on a meme isn't the same as a deep, heart-to-heart conversation. Comparison culture. Seeing everyone else's perfect life makes us feel like we're the only ones struggling. Endless distraction. Instead of dealing with our emotions, we numb them with more scrolling. Emma used to spend hours every day engaging with people on TikTok and Instagram. She was always part of the latest trends, the funniest group chats. But one day, when she had an actual personal crisis, she realized she had no one she could truly open up to. Her online life was full, but her real-life support system was empty. The more we replace real-life interactions with digital ones, the lonelier we become. Social media is designed for entertainment, not emotional connection. Secret 3: the myth of busyness. We tell ourselves we're too busy for friendships, too busy to call, too busy to hang out. But the truth: loneliness isn't caused by a lack of time, it's caused by misplaced priorities. Many Gen Zers are caught in the busyness trap, endless schoolwork, side hustles, and constant notifications pulling us in different directions. But in the process, We neglect the very thing that makes life meaningful: real human connection. Michael thought he had no time for friendships. Between work, gaming, and social media, his schedule was packed. But when he finally took a step back, he realized he was busy, but not fulfilled. Kay was constantly distracted, yet deeply lonely. If we don't intentionally make time for friendships, loneliness will make time for us. Prioritize connection over constant productivity. Secret 4. The fear of vulnerability. Gen Z struggles with vulnerability. We've been raised in an era where perfection is performance and showing weakness is risky. But real connection only happens when we let people see the real us. We fear being judged. We fear being rejected. But the irony, the more we hide, the lonelier we feel. Sarah always kept her struggles to herself. She didn't want to burden anyone. But when she finally opened up to a friend, she realized something powerful: everyone else was struggling too. She wasn't alone. She just needed to take the first step. Vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's the bridge to real relationships. Secret 5. The power of real world friendships. When was the last time you had a face-to-face, no phones conversation with a friend? Technology has made it easy to replace in-person friendships with virtual ones. But science proves that real human interaction releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that makes us feel loved and connected. Jason and Matt were online gaming buddies for years. They messaged daily but had never met in person. When they finally did, they realized their friendship deepened in ways that texts and voice chats never could. Digital friendships are great, but they should enhance, not replace, real-world interactions. Secret 6. The digital illusion. Why more friends doesn't mean less loneliness. The illusion of connection. Have you ever scrolled through your social media feed, surrounded by likes, comments, and messages, yet still felt completely alone? You're not imagining things. Digital connections don't automatically translate into deep, meaningful relationships. The more time we spend online, the lonelier we actually feel. Social media tricks our brains into believing we're socially active, but in reality, we're just consuming content, not forming genuine bonds. Studies show that heavy social media users are twice as likely to report feeling lonely compared to those who spend less time online. Why? Because online interactions often lack emotional depth. The rise of superficial relationships. Imagine this. You post a picture, and within minutes, the notifications start rolling in. Hundreds of people like it, a few comment, ask, and some even send a DM. But ask yourself, how many of those people would be there for you in a crisis? How many truly know you beyond your carefully curated online persona? Our brains crave authentic connection, eye contact, laughter, shared experiences. These moments build trust, understanding, and real friendships. But the more we rely on digital validation, the further we drift from these real-life experiences. How to escape the digital illusion. Set boundaries with social media. Use it as a tool, not a substitute for real interaction. Prioritize face-to-face connections. Call instead of texting. Meet up instead of scrolling. Deepen existing friendships. Invest in quality over quantity. A few close friends are far more valuable than thousands of digital acquaintances. Be vulnerable. Share your struggles. Listen with empathy. And be present in conversations. Secret 7. The science of loneliness. How it affects Your mind and body loneliness is more than just a feeling. Think loneliness is just an emotional state. Think again. Loneliness has a profound impact on your physical and mental health. Chronic loneliness has been linked to heart disease, weakened immune function, and even a shorter lifespan. Some researchers equate its health risks to smoking. 15 cigarettes a day, the brain under siege. When you feel isolated, your brain shifts into survival mode. It interprets loneliness as a threat, increasing stress hormones like cortisol. This leads to anxiety and depression. Loneliness and mental health struggles go hand in hand. Sleep disturbances. Your body remains in a state of alertness, disrupting your sleep cycle, cognitive decline, long-term loneliness has been linked to memory problems and even dementia. How to rewire your brain for connection. The good news? Loneliness isn't permanent. It's a signal to take action. Start small. Say hello to a neighbor, chat with a coworker, or make eye contact with a stranger. Engage in shared activities. Join a class, attend events, or volunteer. Connection happens naturally when you're part of something bigger. Reframe loneliness. Instead of seeing it as rejection, view it as a push toward meaningful relationships. Practice gratitude. Focus on the relationships you do have and nurture them. Secret 8. The hidden power of solitude. Why being alone isn't always lonely. Difference between loneliness and solitude. Not all alone time is bad. In fact, learning to be alone can be one of the most empowering skills you'll ever develop. There's a huge difference between loneliness, feeling disconnected and isolated, and solitude, choosing to be alone for self-growth and reflection. How solitude can transform your life. Self-awareness. Spending time alone helps you understand who you truly are, away from external influences. Creativity boost. Some of history's greatest minds, Einstein, Tesla, Da Vinci embraced solitude to spark creativity. Stronger relationships. When you're comfortable with yourself, your relationships improve. You stop seeking validation and start forming genuine connections. Mental clarity. Silence and stillness allow your brain to process emotions, solve problems, and recharge. How to embrace solitude without feeling lonely. Turn off distractions. Put away your phone and embrace the quiet. Pursue solo activities. Take yourself on a coffee date, read a book, or start a hobby. Journal your thoughts. Writing helps you process emotions and gain clarity. Practice self-compassion. Enjoy your own company without self-judgment. Secret 9. The connection blueprint. How to build meaningful relationships that last. The 3 pillars of deep connection. If you want to escape loneliness, you need to build relationships that are authentic, meaningful, and lasting. Here's how. Vulnerability. Real connections come from being real. Share your thoughts, fears, and struggles with people who matter. Consistency. Friendships don't grow overnight. Regular interactions, texts, calls, meetups are the key to deep bonds. Reciprocity. Give as much as you take. Be the kind of friend you'd want to have. How to attract the right people into your life. Be intentional. Seek friendships that align with your values and interests. Ditch the negativity. Surround yourself with people who uplift, not drain. You put in the effort. Good relationships require maintenance. Show up, listen, and be present. Communicate openly. Say what you feel. Ask meaningful questions and practice active listening. Conclusion: breaking free from the loneliness epidemic. Gen Z. facing a crisis, but it's not one without a solution. Loneliness isn't permanent. It's a signal. A signal that we need deeper connections, real conversations, and meaningful experiences. If you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or disconnected, know this: you are not alone. Final thought: connection is a choice. It requires effort, but the reward: a life filled with friendships that are real, fulfilling, and worth every moment. If this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more content on personal growth, loneliness, and building deeper connections, subscribe now. The loneliness epidemic ends with us. Let's rewrite the story together.